An intro. What's our intro?
I know. I was like, are we gonna talk format before
Oh
we
shit.
start, or
Literally raw dogging it.
I think we wing it. I think we wing it and we just do a
Yeah.
pilot.
All right.
Um,
So
we can
this
record
is.
an intro later.
I
Yeah.
wanna. I like the mess. I want to start with this.
All right, let's do it.
This is Gallifrey ad nauseum. I'm Ramon, or Ramon Hadassah, if you're feeling fancy. What we say, like, what our history with Doctor Who and with the Gallifrey specifically is. That
Oh,
feels
that's
like a thing to
cute.
do on this
That's a good idea.
podcast.
Yeah, that's cute.
Um, so I am a media studies grad student, and I wrote my bachelor's thesis on Doctor Who fandom for what that's worth. Um, and I don't have much experience with like focusing on Gallifrey in particular, which is part of why I'm really excited about doing this and doing this with you two in particular. Because a lot of my focus has been on more general fan history stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, awesome. I'm Allie, and I am not a media studies major in any way at all. I'm just a big nerd doing this for fun. Gallifrey is the main thing I care about in Doctor Who and has been for a long time. Um, like especially like I started with New Who when I was a teenager, like basically everyone else our age, and then got into Classic Who basically just to learn more about the Time Lords. And yeah, so I wouldn't call myself an expert on Time Lord media, but I really really like it, and I'm excited to talk about it for hours and hours ad nauseum.
Yahoo. I'm Les. I would say that Allie is a Time Lord expert. Also Ramon. Both of
wow,
their knowledge bases genuinely impress me and are so exciting to hear about. So I'm so excited to hear everything that they have to say about all of this. I started watching New Who, I think in middle school, and got into the Big Finish audios a couple years ago and got into the Gallifrey audios a couple months ago. And I love them, and I am so excited to learn more about Gallifrey and about these two wonderful people.
Hooray.
quick,
Yeah,
everyone's favorite Time Lord.
Oh, shit.
oh no.
Okay,
Now, pick a
Romana.
favorite now.
Romana.
Okay,
Oh, Narvin.
I'm legally obligated to say Anisette.
So good. Good choices, everyone.
I love
I'm
that.
gonna change that answer every day.
Sorry, wait, before you change it today. I love that me with my picture of Romana said Romana. Allie with your picture of Leela said Narvin. Ramon with your picture of Innocent said Innocent. I think that's very on brand for all of us.
How
Yeah,
could we
our Discord
tell?
profile pictures are really good for this. I think
So
they're
good.
really amusing every time one of us talks. It's like, yeah, Innocent saying this.
I was so close to saying Andred. I'm kind of
That's
glad I
real.
didn't. I feel like I'd get roasted immediately for that.
That's also super on brand for Leela to say.
Oh no!
The
Maybe
accusations,
so.
the
Maybe so.
allegations.
Also, quick to clarify, I love Romana as a whole. I love all Romanas. I am in love with Romana 1 because Mary Tam.
Hmm.
Um, Romana
Naturally.
2, also, I love her. And then Trey, we can't talk about that right now.
No comment.
No
No
comment.
comment. I'm so obsessed with Trey.
All
That'll be my
right.
answer tomorrow.
So we're watching slash reading slash listening to all depictions of Gallifrey in release order. um, which means we've got a good bit of Classic Who to watch next few months.
Yep.
We have, in preparation for this recording, watched the War Games, um,
We sure
which
have.
um, I
We all sat
guess
there and we watched the whole thing.
all 10 episodes.
All 10
Um,
episodes of it.
and I
Do you
definitely
know?
took notes on every part. I didn't forget to take notes on some of these parts.
No, didn't happen. I also definitely did not watch it all in one go today.
Hmm.
It's not what happened. Uh-uh.
I took really thorough notes. Almost a whole page.
Hmm. Um,
But yeah,
so
really, really interesting start. Had anybody seen it before? I hadn't.
No.
so I had seen it before. I This is the thing I should have said in my history with Doctor Who thing. In 2023, I watched every episode of Doctor Who on the anniversary of its first release. So I
Cool.
watched like every episode that aired on January 1st on January 1st
Oh,
across all of
okay.
the history, and
That
then
makes a
kept
lot more
going for
sense.
the entire year, um, which meant it was a bonkers watch order that
Yeah,
I
That's a new one
really
on me, I'll
enjoyed.
say that.
that's
Um,
amazing, actually.
yeah, which meant I spent a full 10 weeks on the War Games the first time I saw it. Um, I watched it as God intended, once a week.
I know I just
Um,
watched it today, but I also spent a whole 10 weeks
Yeah.
in one day
yeah.
watching it.
It does just keep going. I will
It
say
just
though,
keeps going.
I found it was really well paced. I was worried it was going to get way too long in the tooth, but it was compelling. They kept it going.
That's
I
the
thought.
thing with like,
Personally, I struggled with it a little bit, but I think that was more of a me thing than an actual pacing thing.
getting into Classic Who is like an adjustment, especially
It
with
is especially,
the really long serials.
yep.
I will say that
Yeah.
like
Also,
there's I'm always consistently amazed by like there are stories that like the War Games that do way better pacing 10 episodes, like actually having things happen,
mm,
than some stories fill 4 episodes.
Mm.
Um, this is like when I was the first time I tried to watch all of Doctor Who from the beginning, like starting with season one and just watching in order. The thing
mhm.
I remember saying is like, I cannot believe the extent to which the Daleks is able to use 7 episodes way better than, like able to fill 7 episodes way better than An Unearthly Child was able to fill four.
Oh,
Ooh.
for sure. It really gets like there's a there's a lot of variation, I think, in writers' ability to sort of use the space that they have in an episode. Like,
I also found it interesting, and part of what made it, I think, is that, I'm not used to watching television in black and white. I'm used to a lot of color everywhere all the time. Um, and so I think part of what made it a little bit difficult to watch was that it was in black and white. Although
mm-hmm.
that made me ask a bunch of questions about like what did they actually do for set dressings and the things that they're like, look at this big green box. Was it actually green? Not that that's super relevant, but it kind of yeah, it was a big adjustment, I felt, with the pacing and with the lack of color.
I will also say that I, with my university's Doctor Who club, watched the War Games in color last week.
Oh my
Um,
God.
Oh, how was that? Yeah.
How was it?
yeah, it's it's it. I'm impressed by how they were able to edit it down to like a reasonable length for a thing to watch in one
Oh,
sitting.
wait,
There's
how long
definitely
is
like
it?
I think it's like 90 minutes. I think it's an hour and a half, which is
Okay.
That
like an insane amount of stuff to cut.
Yeah, holy cow.
Yeah, that's like
Let me make sure I'm right about that.
Is it, did you find that that changed anything for you about it? Because I feel like when you're working, I feel like that adds a whole nother dimension for the people like making and producing it that they have to think about. I'm not
Yeah,
phrasing this very well. Do you know what I'm trying to do you know
Yeah,
what
hang on.
I'm
no.
trying to
It's fine.
ask?
I'm finding it harder to fact check this than I thought it would be.
No, I
Where's
totally get what you're
can
saying.
Because like
Like
I feel like
because like
that's
I
a
was
whole
saying,
nother, it's almost like another distraction. Like you have to, when it's in black and white, it has to be engaging in many ways so that, the lack of color isn't like an issue or isn't taking away from it. So I'm wondering like if adding color changed it in any way or if it was still, I don't know.
that's such a good question. No, you're right because I mean it does change. I mean, just psychologically, color affects a lot of how we perceive things.
Mhm.
Um, I mean,
Oh
color
my God.
theory in art, in any art, especially in film, like I can imagine that's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to like I know like I'm probably just gonna watch it myself at some point and see. And it would have been a good thing to watch before doing this, but like I'm really just curious to know what they cut from it because, like I said, I found it filled the 10 episodes pretty well.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it was 90 minutes. There were like so the thing about like a lot of the longer classic Who stories, there is this like cyclical structure to them of like
Hmm.
you go to location, you learn new information, you go
Yeah,
back to other location with the information you just learned, and
you get
then
attacked by Romans.
you get attacked by Romans, then you go back to location with new information. It's very much like building iteratively. That's the word I'm trying to say. On
Yes.
um, like the same kind of few events over and over again. Like there are big things that happen at times, but often it is more about like moving through information, I think.
Hmm.
Um,
Definitely.
and so like consolidating like here's the information that is like most vital in at this place at this time. Um, it feels a lot like we're jumping from place to place in the colorization. Like suddenly we're
Right.
like, why are we back here and then back there again, like in the
Mm.
span of a few seconds? Um,
Interesting.
as well as there are just full like characters and plot lines that mostly get cut. Um,
Who?
well, everything with the like Mexican bandit guy, which is probably for the
Oh, thank
best.
God. Oh, thank
Oh my
God.
God.
That
I made a note about the
honestly,
music when he entered because it was so
Almost everything,
bonkers.
because he is like plot
Oh my
vital by the
God.
very end. Um,
Yeah.
but his introduction was cut, so it's just like this guy is here now.
oh, awesome. Yeah,
Um,
that was kind of a lot.
The music was wild.
And
Yeah.
I'm not sure why I was so surprised at all of the like stereotypical uh like ethnic characters in that, but I
oh
kind of
yeah,
was. Again,
I'm
I
surprised that it
grew
wasn't
up
worse,
watching.
having seen a lot of Doctor Who from this era.
I've seen a lot of TV from this era and even earlier. Like I was raised on like um, golden age Hollywood movies and you know basically all the TV that my mom watched in the 60s. I don't know why I was so surprised, but I said oh no out loud. Um,
It reminded me of Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
Speedy Gonzalez, yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
yep.
it sure was something.
Um, oh, the other thing about is talking about music. The colorization adds in more modern style music, and in fact, just pulls in music from New Who, which is really
What?
jarring. Specifically, the music
Weird.
they pull in from New Who is they've taken. Actually, I'm gonna circle back to this. I'm putting a pin in something.
Sure.
Okay.
Because there's a segment I want to do later after we've kind of gone through like all of our notes
Yes.
on what's going on. But okay, so summarizing. Actually, first I'm gonna say like we keep referencing TV from this era. I'm gonna give like general information as to what's happening here. Which
Awesome.
is
Thank you.
so this aired in 1969. It is the last serial of season 6 of Classic Who, which um, was the last serial with Patrick Troughton as the Doctor. This was like the one of the biggest turning points in Doctor Who. Like this is Doctor Who became a different show after this, and the
Mhm.
different show it became, it would stay that show for at least another 6 years, if not more. Like depending on how you count like eras. The Fourth Doctor gets weird in terms of trying to periodize Doctor Who, but this
Mm.
was the last story in black and white. It shifted, it introduced the Time Lords, which is why we're here. Talking about like who the Doctor was before this story, because it was different. He wasn't confirmed as non-human until uh, only a bit before this. I don't know exactly when that was, but it wasn't too long before this episode aired.
Do we
Mhm.
know that he has
Mm.
two hearts at this point?
I don't think we know that he has two hearts until like a good bit into the third Doctor. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
Um,
it,
yeah,
it
I don't
might
know
have
about
been.
this episode. I do know. So I just rewatched Terror of the Autons yesterday, and there was mention of hearts plural in
It
that. So
might
that
be
was season
in
8.
Spearhead from Space, the third Doctor's first story that we get two
It
hearts.
could be. Have to check on that.
Was there a shift in leadership between
Yes.
those series?
So
Okay.
this was when Barry Letts became producer and Terrence Dicks became script editor. Which we were talking about Terrence
Mm.
Dicks off air.
We were.
Guy who did a lot. So yeah,
Oh, Terrence.
Spearhead from Space was when Two Hearts was introduced. So it's the story immediately
Okay.
after this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Big move for lore in the show.
Yeah, holy cow. Especially
yeah,
that there's a bit in like the last part, I think. Hang on, sorry, I made notes. Where he's standing at the TARDIS console, like talking about himself, and it's like the biggest lore drop you've ever gotten about him thus far.
yeah. One of the things I have in my notes is like, imagine being one of the girlies in 1969. Like,
Oh my God,
Oh,
yeah.
I know. I
Yeah,
would have been
that
tying up
was
phone lines. But yeah, so change in leadership, change in um,
changing
format. I guess moving
format.
to color.
Yeah,
yeah.
moving to color. Also, um, the season after this is almost entirely like longer serials rather than the which that didn't last, but it is like a shift that happened.
Mm.
Hmm.
The series after this is one four-parter and like four seven-parters.
Yeah, they
Does he
stopped that pretty quick, didn't they?
Yeah,
Pretty quick. Season 8, I think, is a, a mix.
season 8 goes back to 4 and 6 episodes as the
Yeah.
Was this
standard.
is this serial when they introduced the little cubes? Well, yeah, because they hadn't
Yeah,
introduced
this
Time
is
Time Lords yet.
Yep.
That was so cool. I was losing it because the only other time that the first time I learned about the cubes was with 11.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking about that. I've
I
got
think they get
mail.
named hypercubes by somebody later on.
So that he can
Yes.
send them by like going into a trance is wild.
A trance
What
that
is
he
that?
has to sit down for.
What did they mean by that?
I
Like, what
think
else can he transport to Gallifrey via sitting down and shutting his eyes?
it makes me wonder, like how much of the Time Lord's psychic ability stuff like really really comes from this episode, like how different uh Time Lords and Gallifrey would be if these things hadn't happened.
Right, well, especially I'm thinking about the CIA agents that are doing the trial who made like the coolest cucumber in the sea, the warlord, like lose his mind and scream via their psychic attack. Like that
With their
is
mind beams.
wild. Yeah,
And they
exactly.
made him see light. It was a like a visual
Yeah.
hallucination because they had to stop the light. Like
Yeah,
that's
and he
really
screamed and
powerful.
tore off his glasses. And he was the
I
most like
cast magic spell of
calm,
migraine.
collected. Okay, his reaction is Completely valid. I get it. I get it.
He's kind of real for that.
Um, but yeah, that surprised me how powerful
Yeah,
psychically they
I
are.
noted
Because
it's
I feel like
part
that's not
eight.
something that they do in New Who a lot. Like they don't
No,
tap into that
well,
nearly as
they
much as in
do.
Classic Who.
They don't tap into it with the Doctor, but they also don't tap into it with the Doctor much at all in Classic Who either.
Yeah. Or I guess
Hmm.
because we don't really see Gallifrey much at all in
Yeah,
New Who, we don't see that, but I that surprised me. Um, because also I don't in audios too, it's not something that is I feel like it's not something that's that intense
yeah,
as to
it
what we
really
saw
varies
there.
on who's writing and what they care about.
Yeah.
Um, for example, Terrence Dix may or may not have a hypno fetish, so
I'm gonna go with
I'm not
May.
making any accusations.
I'm putting
But
my bets. I
somebody
really
here,
liked the. Just this kind of a side note on set design. I really loved the spiral hypnosis room.
That
I
was
oh
thought
really
yeah,
cool.
that was
That
a
was
nice little
fun.
touch.
That was fun.
I did make this quip when we watched the because in the colorized version, it was really it does make it more clear the ways that things are like, oh, this is a set from the 60s with very little money.
Mm.
Um, of the when the doctor's like reprogramming the brainwashing machine, and it's like, I can do this by moving these fridge
Oh,
magnets.
fridge magnets,
Oh, I
favorite.
love
I loved
that.
those because it's
At
fun
least there
and
was.
playful, but also like really cool to try to figure out how that actually works if you were able
Yeah.
to do it with things like that. I don't know. I thought
I
that was
I
really
liked
think
that
I
cool.
think
it
more depictions of
had.
Time Lords need fridge magnets.
They
I
need the fridge
agree.
magnets. I liked that it had internal logic almost by the end.
Hmm.
Like it took a minute for me to figure out that those were circuits, but they used it consistently throughout. It was nice. It was
I
Yeah.
think
clever.
that I think that Time Lords take those little fridge magnets of all the words and leave messages on each other's TARDISes.
Just spelling
That's
out
beautiful.
words.
You know,
Fridge magnet
like
poetry.
yeah, fridge
That might that
poetry.
that's what Bad Wolf was about.
So true.
Actually is.
We missed the Bad Wolf shot that was fridge magnets on the TARDIS.
Next time.
Next time Bad Wolf shows up.
Honestly, with Russell the Davies back at the
Yeah,
wheel.
when Russell pays Billy Piper all the money in the world.
Oh man,
Please.
it's on its way.
Yeah, I love like early on in this serial how cagey the Doctor is. That's something I find real juicy every time it happens. Is the Doctor like
Hmm.
knows something about what's going on and
Hmm.
is scared of it and won't tell
Yes.
you why he's scared?
Oh, and then he went bonkers as it went on, and that was amazing to see.
Yeah,
Like he was a prey animal trying to escape
Yes,
yeah. I have in my
getting
especially.
notes
got
like
by
I
the Time
like when two
Lords.
looks haunted.
Yeah, he's good at that,
He's
and it's
so
scary when it
scared.
happens.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, the words I used in my notes were grim as hell. Like
Yeah.
I think, like how early on do we think he recognizes that it's the Time Lords in this serial? Because I think it's immediately, and it takes
Well,
until
He
episode 6 for them to be named.
since it
yeah,
has to do with time, I feel like he would know.
he has like I feel like he has suspicions, and then we see that it those are TARDISes that they're using at
Right.
part three.
Hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
part three cliffhanger.
I love that the subtitler on BritBox like very heroically said TARDIS like
Yes,
sound
Yes, I noted that
throughout the
too.
whole thing. Very heroic. We know
Like
it's a
it isn't
TARDIS.
a TARDIS, but it's similar in sound.
Like,
Don't worry about it.
suspiciously similar. Don't think about it.
the sonic screwdriver bit. The like
Oh my
this is
God,
a
yeah.
sonic screwdriver.
Yes.
I gasped. That was so funny. That was
It
cathartic.
can screw. It can unscrew something without touching it. Wow.
How many
That
other
proves
times
that
do we
he's from the
remember?
future, actually.
I can't think of another time he's used a sonic screwdriver as a screwdriver to screw and unscrew the screw.
Yeah, I and also like that bit was weird to me.
Yeah.
I was just like, because this is doing nothing. Like, I don't know why this needs to happen.
It was just to convince Carstairs that it was like to deprogram him, right?
Yeah.
And they
No,
had
it
to do
was
it
the German.
twice?
No, it was the German soldier because the German soldier got told by the commander with the monocle in that these people
Oh,
were
right.
spies and he needed to kill them. And so then he's like, "Wait, remember the thing I did with the
And he's like,
gun?"
wait, my screwdriver.
Yeah. And then the
That was
guy's like,
bizarre.
"Vaguely," and he's like, "I'll show you again." And then this time he takes the gun and throws it to Jamie and then they escape. Um,
Right.
yeah.
Another thing in I feel like we haven't been like summarizing what happened to get us here.
No,
No,
Um,
we're
not
kind
at
of jumping
all.
around a bit.
we're jumping all around. Um,
So much to talk about.
to if we want to clarify for anybody who has not seen the war games in our audience. Um,
Oh, maybe
so
summarize what happens.
yeah, so the Doctor, Jamie, and Zoe land in what appears to be a World War One battlefield. Um, Jamie tries to touch some barbed wire.
Me
That was just a
spikes.
thing I noted because I thought it was funny.
I noted that too.
I just put Jamie. Um, yeah.
Or he just
So
grabs a spike.
they get arrested or taken in by British soldiers uh, who seem very intent on punishing them because they're very convinced that these are German spies. Because why would civilians be in no man's land, and none of them have seen civilians in a very long time. Um, the Doctor gets sentenced to execution by firing squad.
What's new?
Um, if I had a nickel for every time the Doctor got sentenced to execution by firing squad in the same serial that he regenerates, but it's completely unrelated, I'd have two nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. This also happens in Caves of Androzani.
Oh, that's right.
Was it written by the same person?
No, Caves of Androzani was Eric Sayward, who I have
Okay.
opinions on that I'm not going to get into
Yet.
Not
yet.
today.
I actually don't think he wrote anything on Gallifrey, so that's a bonus episode issue.
Doctor
Anyway,
sentenced to death.
Sorry, yeah,
yeah.
firing squad.
I didn't take any notes on part two.
Wait, let me see. I have notes. Um, I have noted Jamie wants breakfast. I am available. Um, this is when this is when Jamie's imprisoned in because these people think he's a deserter from the Highland Regiment and they have to like break him out.
Yeah,
Um,
I think most of
so
part two was just them being
Oh yeah,
imprisoned and
part
trying to
well,
get
part
yeah,
two
out
is
of.
when we start getting like, hey, wait, this is weird, because
yeah,
there's
because the
also there's a redcoat in
yes,
prison
from
with Jamie.
1745
Right.
that appears in prison with Jamie and they're both like, "Hello?" And then they get out, but the redcoat gets shot. So
Sad.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Sad. Well, there's other side characters.
also I
I
have noted that there was a line, creeping barrage, that sounded a lot like the creeping buboes line that Narvin says in Gallifrey.
We're all
Um,
ravaged by the creeping boob.
Also, Ransom says that they lost over 100 shovels and that not many women take an interest in the problems of supply, which I thought was hilarious. Um, anyway, that's all I have on up to.
yeah.
I honestly didn't
Um.
take like plot notes. Mine were more
Yeah,
things
me
to talk
too.
about.
Which is
So
I'm regretting. I've got the TARDIS wiki
me
page
too.
open.
Oh, I have some plot notes, but because otherwise I won't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
You're a genius,
I took
Ellie.
So
notes the same way that I took notes in school.
Beautiful. Yeah,
there's
I think that the
two.
notes game will be upped next episode.
Yeah. There's two British soldiers that they have allied with who have noticed something's weird. They keep having memory issues. There's Carstairs and Jennifer. Um, who
Higher stairs.
are helping the Doctor, Jamie, and Zoe out. Um, there's they go to like the edge of the battlefield where there's some sort of weird mist that they think is responsible for the memory issues. Nobody expects the Roman chariots.
That scene was so funny to me. They,
The yeah,
it was
I think
like
it was the episode
three full
card.
minutes.
The title card for episode 3 was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, where Roman soldiers saw them disappear and stood there with their mouths open, with their like weapons raised, but it was clearly still rolling, but they were like standing still. Oh my, it was so good. They did so good with that.
A lot of Looney Tunes stuff went on in this one.
Yes.
A lot of Scooby
Yeah,
Doo incidents.
Yeah,
and the
that's
sound
a
design
very second
also.
Doctor. That's a good like send off to two. I think with this story, it's like it gives them a lot of chances to do clown shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, sound design wise, the gunshots when they're in the American Civil War sound like the Wild West gunshots that you hear that are like
Yeah,
pew, which I thought was a great touch and like really put them in the different zones.
Yeah.
yeah. Episode three.
They
Um,
split up like the Scooby-Doo gang at the end.
yeah. They gotta go get. They know that there's different time like separated time zones here. They don't know what's going on with that. The Doctor is trying to find a map of the time zones. Um, and then they do that. They get it from. Uh, this whole time, people in positions of military authority keep brainwashing people, um, doing
By
fun
putting on their
hypnosis things,
by putting
putting
on
on
their
their little
brainwashing
hypnosis
glasses.
glasses, and
I was so
Or
surprised
monocle.
that yeah, I was so surprised that at no point did anyone take one of those and smash it. No one even noticed. Like,
yeah, it's a skill issue.
It was actually those were the actors' real glasses.
I'm kind of obsessed with the phrasing on this TARDIS Wiki article. Um, Outside,
oh,
Zoe and
TARDIS
Jamie are
wiki.
given helmets. They discuss how barbaric war is. Yeah,
Is that like
So
all of part
true.
4 or something?
the it's like part three has like a lot of like paragraphs that are just like individual sentences saying what happens.
Yeah.
There were a
There's a
lot of
lot.
southern accents in episode 4. Um, that I thought they actually did the American accents pretty well,
Yeah,
which
right. Episode four, they're
I
in the
was
American Civil
surprised
War now,
at. Yeah. Well,
Mm,
allegedly. They're
allegedly.
kind of kind of. They think they are. Um,
that's where they're from.
but I thought that the American accents were actually done very well because my experience with American accents in British media is that they usually aren't the best,
Yeah,
or they're all from New York, or you know how it is.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, I didn't
I
notice
as
anything
resident
off.
Southerner, um, I did grow up in Georgia. Um, it's
Can you do
whatever.
it?
I do think that like British people are better at Southern accents than like
Yeah.
other American accents because the vowel
Yeah.
sounds can get there
hmm
easier.
Oh,
Can you do?
definitely.
Can you twang? Can you speak with a twang?
I can't do it on command, genuinely.
Okay. Word.
If I'm around my like Arkansas family, I'll start getting it. But yeah. So while they're in the Civil War zone, they're hiding in a barn, and then a weird box emerges.
A
Um,
mysterious box? What could it
a,
be?
a mysterious box materializes with, as the caption called it, TARDIS-like noises, and a lot of soldiers climb out of it.
A lot of hot soldiers.
Good addition there. That's
No
thank you for
comment.
correcting me. I'm listening and learning.
Sorry, it's important.
Yeah.
No comment from me.
Um, for reasons Jamie and Zoe get separated, they go into the box. Um, or Zoe and the Doctor go into the box, and Jamie and Jennifer are captured by Civil War soldiers.
Yeah, and this is where it becomes Scooby Doo because now everybody's split up.
Yes, that's exactly what I wrote in my notes.
Yeah. Oh, did we meet the War Chief in this episode? Because I have that in my notes in episode 3.
Episode 3?
Comes in
Um,
that
Oh,
late?
one of General Smythe um
oh God.
is calls him, but
Okay, yeah.
it's a he FaceTimes him, and so that's the first time we see him.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Beginning of episode 4, Zoe and the Doctor are in a TARDIS. It looks like a TARDIS.
Yes.
And then there's a really big music sting, and you're faced with a ton of German soldiers, and it did make me yell out loud.
Yeah, I have in my notes here, like, so this is like chattel slavery. Like, that is what's happening here. And I
Yes.
For
think that
sure.
that's
Hmm.
like not quite like I think that there's way more you can do with that with the elements that are in play in this episode. I would have loved for Harper to have more to do, more to say about the
Yeah.
situation he's in.
Yeah. Think.
Um, there's a black man who is a soldier for the Union who is also here.
I have in my notes, all caps, got real nervous when the captain pulled a gun on the black man.
Yep.
Didn't know what was going to happen next, and it was a tense couple moments.
I do have in my notes. I sure hope nothing bad happens to this black man.
That was my only thought the whole time. It's
Yep.
like, well,
Guess what? Guess
I
what
know, I know,
happens
I
to
know where this
the
is going.
yeah.
Uh, you
The
always
other note
hope
I
it's
have
not
for
gonna
this
go that
is,
way, but
yeah, especially in like Classic Who, you always think maybe this time this really
maybe this
interesting
time.
character is going to be allowed to be really interesting, and like be the way that we view this situation. Like that's the thing is like I think that as point of view characters, they like that's a
Mm.
perspective that is very interesting on these like very politically minded Doctor Who episodes. But
Yeah.
no, they're here to show up, help the Doctor, and then get shot.
Yep.
Yeah. Another note I had here is that the cast in the serial is massive. Like
Yeah.
just in terms of
There are a
like
It's
ton
bodies
of
on
people.
big.
screen, there are
Mm-hmm.
so many people here.
It's really busy.
Yeah.
But in a
I
way,
have a
I
couple.
think they pull it off really well though. I think if you don't have all of these soldiers coming out of TARDISes and if you don't have all these guards and stuff, like
Yeah,
it
I
comes
think it
across really empty and weird
I think
and it
that it
totally
is like
breaks
the
the
correct
illusion.
way to pull off the scale of this story.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
something I'm amazed by at this point in this is the first time Doctor Who has a budget of this size.
for sure.
This is like one of the things I kind of point to of like when people say Doctor Who should not have a budget now, like some of the best Doctor Who was made in periods of time when Doctor Who was playing with money for the first time.
Yeah, I think people equate budget with um like a certain kind of show instead of just the freedom to make it good, which is what
Or
a
Yeah.
like
budget is.
or the way
Like
the
the,
effects are done. Like I feel like high budget is
yeah,
associated with CGI and low budget is associated with practical effects. But
No,
exactly.
good practical
it, like
effects are expensive. That's why they aren't used all the time.
Exactly.
exactly.
When,
Wild Blue
especially by
Yonder.
companies that are trying to not pay um, their effects workers.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
that's the problem here, not the fact that the money exists.
Yeah, that's how it's used or not.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like yeah, I get the like that restrictions can make you write more creatively. Restrictions can come from anywhere. It doesn't need to
Yes.
be the budget. Um,
You can cut this out later if you want, but I real quick related in terms of limits. I had a drawing class in undergrad where the first day we sat down and he had us list as many like art mediums as we could and as many art supports as we could. And then when we finished the list, that was all we could use for the whole semester. But we
Oh,
could
that
only use
rules.
one art medium and one support per project. And every project was a chapter of a different art movement. And so you had to be like, oh, I'm doing like Dadaism with pastels on paper. And then you couldn't use the mediums and supports that you had already used for your previous projects. So it really forced you to like get creative and figure out how to make your limits work and make really good art from it. So that that did teach me that like limits are super important when creating something like actually good. But
Yeah.
um
That is so
yeah.
cool.
Oh, it was awesome. Highly recommend trying that. Because it makes you actually make good stuff and really deeply think about every aspect of what you're doing. So I
Yeah.
think if, as long as the people in charge are doing that, then
And I think like in terms of longer form stuff with Doctor Who, the limits that work to make better TV are not about the budget. They're about
yes.
like a budget limit can work as like a way to force creativity in a single episode. I think that bottle episodes can be very good. I think in terms
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
of like making a season or a long serial work really well, the thing that really gets you is narrative limits. Is this is where this needs to
Yes.
end. This is
Yes.
the
Yeah.
point your characters need to be at, or this is you have an end point here. And I think
Hmm.
this is like a good finale to Doctor Who, to what
Yeah.
Doctor Who was
Mm-hmm.
for those first 6 years.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
Definitely.
I was blown away by everything that was in it 'cause I haven't seen a lot of two. I don't think I've seen any of one. So this is my first two and Jamie and Zoe
mhm,
viewing. Um, and yeah, it blew me away with how much was going on and how much was in it.
yeah,
Also, a few notable Jamie moments I have in episode 4
mhm.
is that I think it's so cute that he calls Jennifer Lady Jennifer. Adorable.
Yeah,
And then that scene of him um punching out the guy and then stealing his horse and like yelling as he rode the horse away.
yeah,
Um, no comment.
yeah.
So beautiful. You get it, right? Like I get it now. I also
I,
hadn't seen
oh
maybe
my God,
I've probably seen a
do you
little
know?
bit of Jamie like here and there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I've
Jamie's
seen
like
two in like the Three Doctors and whatever, but same, this was
This
my first time actually
episode,
sitting down and watching them.
this serial made me understand why Diana Gabaldon did what she did and made Outlander.
yeah.
Yep.
Like I get it. I get it.
I had to watch the
And she
pilot
was
of
right.
Outlander for class last quarter.
How was it?
I had a good time.
Good. I think I've seen like 1.5 seasons, maybe two, a while ago. But um, for anyone who doesn't know, the only reason that Outlander exists is because the author of it was watching classic Doctor Who, and she saw Jamie McCrimmon, and she was like, "Oh my God, hey!" And that's also why he's named Jamie Fraser, because Jamie McCrimmon is the original companion character, and Fraser Hines is the person that played him. And I love that bit of lore.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful world we live in.
It is a beautiful world, and like I said, this serial, I totally get it, and I
Yeah.
would do the same.
I do think there's a lot that gets lost on like non British audiences about how much of Jamie is English people being weird about Scottish people.
Yeah.
Word.
Jamie's real hit or miss at times.
Yeah.
I did really like that bit when one of the Americans says, "Oh, they're all Brits," and he says, "No, I'm a Scotsman." The American says, "No,
And
you're
he
all
goes, "You're
Brits."
all English."
Yeah, whatever it was.
Jamie is
Yeah,
so
That made me
offended.
laugh.
Also,
That
Jamie's
poor
little
guy.
bits of like misogyny throughout.
yeah,
It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
really
like,
blatant.
okay, sure.
yeah. This is like an enduring character trait of his. This
Yeah.
is like a
Cool.
thing he does all the time. It's definitely like a specific thing they're doing with Jamie of like these outdated attitudes, but like
Right.
also like,
To be
but
like,
really he says
he's
what we're
from
all
the olden
thinking
times.
type thing. Like
Right.
that's kind of the vibe with a lot of his misogyny is just like
Mm.
that
He's just
like
saying what everyone's thinking.
yeah, that he's unfiltered because he's
Oh, yes.
which is like okay. Um and like
Sure.
I have like on in my notes for a later episode of um Zoe as like this like frigid idea of like progressive feminism of just like, well, she's no fun.
Right.
And I'm like, that is a 16-year-old girl.
Is
Yeah.
she 16? I didn't know that.
She's a teenager. I don't even know exactly how old she is.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know that.
But yeah,
Oh my
Zoe as a
God,
character is a teenager.
she's badass. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
To
she.
be
So this is
that
a thing.
strong and like outspoken and amazing as a teenager, hello?
Yeah, this is a thing about this like companion group dynamic that is really interesting to me because there's like um what I I have a like a section in my thesis about this, and I also wrote I've written essays about like the inherent misogyny of like the role of the companion, about how like the way that the show is structured is that the doctor in this like very paternalistic role explains things to the woman,
Yes.
and the
Yeah.
woman gets kidnapped to make the doctor go do things. And also there's this like secondary companion role of the companion who like runs and punches things, and then the doctor turns around and goes, punching people is wrong.
I did notice at one point that when they were saving Zoe later from the spiral room,
Hmm.
that Jamie came in and just like punched out that guard, and the doctor was like, "Well done."
Yeah,
I was like, "Interesting. He never does that." Or
Yeah,
not
yeah,
in
it is
my
the
not in my
so.
experience at least.
Yeah,
the
classic Who
non-violence
Doctor
thing
is.
really comes in with three when he's surrounded by soldiers all the time,
Mm, that'd do it.
when you have to have him like be this voice of reason, voice of like very like aristocratic. I
Yeah,
This is also a thing I've written about. Is I have a lot of thoughts on classic Who and masculinity.
it's delicious.
Yeah. Anyway, so in part four, Jamie and or not Jamie and Zoe and the Doctor go to are in the central hub. Which when they pulled out the map, I was like, well, that's just good theme park design. Um,
So true.
Epcot.
yeah,
The Epcot ball.
Oh
I am
no.
literally that fine. I love the Epcot ball. I love her name is Spaceship Earth, and I love her.
That's so cool. Oh,
Um,
also, did you notice that the map was a hexagon, which is very Time Lordy? I thought that was
no,
interesting.
it was very
Or
Epcot.
maybe that exactly. It's all
It was
connected.
tiled triangles.
Yeah, yeah. And it yeah, and it made a hexagon. And I was like, "Oh, just like the Time Lords. They
Well,
love
There are so many
hexagons."
things that happened in this episode where I was like, "Oh, this reminds me of like, or like this is very I mean, yeah, like this is very Time Lordy," and I had to keep reminding myself that this came first.
mhm. Yeah, Jamie and Zoe they go to like hypno kink lesson. Go to a workshop. No, they're in the like central hub of whatever this experiment is. Um, and they get expositioned at that this as some warlike alien people who we never get a name for, um, who are kidnapping people from human history to make them fight each other to find out which of them are the best soldiers to then use them as a um, invading warforce. Which cool, great plan, guys. I feel like there were simpler ways to do this.
Yeah,
Um,
I
No.
didn't find it super clear what their goal was. Were they going to were they trying to determine which period of Earth's history had the best soldiers so that they could kidnap all of them and use them to fight the war? Like I wasn't
it was the impression
sure.
I got, it was like this sample size of soldiers was like we are testing these ones specifically. and like
I
Oh,
thought it
they're
was
right.
going to
He
kind
did
of
use just
say
all of them, the ones that survive this, to
to fight.
I
Right.
thought it
yeah,
was funny that they chose humans for that because I feel like later a lot of the Time Lord and alien views of humans is that, they're like primitive and weak and
yeah.
like easily
Weird backwater
conquered and
planet that the
easy to
Doctor really
die.
likes
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah.
Wait, are
So
you
it's
saying that
it's
that's the, so are you saying that that's the Time Lord's view on them later, like later in the show?
and like I feel like aliens, other invading aliens in general, like I feel like
Right.
there's not I feel like
I
the view
feel
of
like,
humans isn't as
Yeah.
like this big
but
warrior
I
race
Well,
that's
I
gonna
don't
conquer
know.
well,
No,
that's
everybody.
that
the
but they
view
do.
here is also like not necessarily that they are like a powerful warrior race. It is that they are very that war is something that humanity is good at. That
Okay. Okay, I see. So they
like
could
they are good
just
at
throw
being
as many.
soldiers, which I think is a way more interesting read on
Okay,
humanity as
that
a whole.
makes
Like that's
that
that's
makes a
like a
lot more
really
sense.
fun sci-fi dystopia thing of just like, oh, this is the thing we are known for.
Yikes.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
that
gonna
is way
say. Is
more
there
way
is a
more compelling.
lot. There is a lot. Like later in Doctor Who, of people are saying like, "Oh, all humans do is kill each other." I feel like that comes back and comes back
It
a
does.
lot.
It's mentioned a ton.
There are even I don't and like I know you're not finished Gallifrey yet, and I don't remember when this was, but somebody, I think it's in no, I think it is. I think it's Becklin in War Room says something
Of
to
course it's
Leela.
Becklin and
Of course, it's Becklin in War Room. She says something to Leela. She makes a comment um, to Leela about, "Oh, your people are so good at fighting. Like war is your thing." Something like that. She says it as a compliment, and Leela gets very offended, and the general tells her off for saying that. And it seems to
interesting.
be, and he says, Leela's not the savage warrior that you remember, whatever. But it seems to be like a view of humanity that the Time Lords have. Like yes, that they're savage, but specifically warlike. Um,
Yeah.
Interesting.
it comes back quite a bit.
And being like I think it feeds back into like the a chattel slavery thing of just like that
Mm-hmm.
is the kind of race science that gets used to justify like it's just like these people are only capable of doing this specific like manual labor and like it is helping them to um, guide them towards that
Mm-hmm.
with the manual labor in question being killing people with guns
Yeah.
or with spears or whatever. But yeah, the Doctor and Zoe attend this lecture where they tell you how to do this, and then they reveal that they've captured Carsters and they're going to re-brainwash him. They're going to demonstrate this brainwashing machine that allows them to not notice that there's anything weird going on. Um, and then they do live brainwash Carsters, and uh, he points out Zoe and the Doctor specifically as like those are German spies. Once he um, and like the Doctor is mostly through his way of talking his way out of it, and even manages to talk them into like clearing the brainwashing off of Carstairs. And then the War Chief walks in, um, and it's very much that like Umbrella Academy car meme, just like
That moment, oh my God.
it's so
I
funny.
lost my mind.
I put two
Oh my
feral
God.
cats
Yes.
in
That's
each other's
exactly what it
territory.
was.
They immediately they see each other, and the Doctor immediately runs.
Like bolts out of there. No questions, nothing said. Just gets
This
out, which is also so interesting because usually there's like a quip or I'm thinking like New Who. There's usually
Yeah,
like a quip or like come on companion or like, something, but he just bolts, which was also
he is
really interesting
gone.
and like raises the stakes, I feel like, because then we get no explanation for why he's so scared.
From here on out, the
yeah,
Doctor is so scared. of
Yeah.
the War Chief and the Time Lords. Like, and I think like by now he knows that that's who's involved. I mean, before
Oh, for sure.
seeing the War Chief.
That was the moment though where he was like, "Okay, confirmed. I gotta go."
Exactly. And like that, like, I have a question for you guys. So, like, that instant recognition and fear, did you think that was personal or telepathic or
They
like
do know each other.
I thought it
they
was
do know
both.
each other
I thought
personally?
it was like a personal
They
telepathic,
I
like
feel like they mentioned knowing each other personally.
I must have
I
missed that bit.
I think I missed that too.
I might
They
have
I
do,
think
there is a
I
scene where
thought
they talk about there's a
they
scene where
talk
they talk about like I ran away like you. So I guess that
right.
implies that they know, but I don't
I
remember
don't
if
know if they
either of
know
them just
each
said it first.
right. I don't know if they know each other personally or that like the doctor is known.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
just
know. It's
they
the like
connect about like
assumption
being
that
Time
they
Lords, but I don't know.
yeah, the assumption that they know each other personally does cause some problems in some EU texts.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Like, are we gonna get into it now? Like, are we
we
gonna
could
talk
get
about
into
who?
it now.
Are we
I
gonna
do
get
have
into it now?
because that was the I have in my part five notes, which we did just get to the part four end cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Um, first I have the note. God, the war chief is cunty. And then I
Yes.
have as a like addendum to that note, biggest evidence that he's the master.
Yes, I have
Yep.
notes about his facial hair. Yeah.
Big questions about the facial hair.
I have
Especially
a
because the warlord is the only other one who has weird facial hair, and he's not a
yes.
time lord.
Yeah,
I have War Chief's contour is wild. Wood.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. What? But what is that symbol he's wearing, by the way?
Yeah, because he holds it up like it means something, and then they don't explain
Several
it.
times.
Do you
Several
think that
times.
was like, do you think that that was like the preliminary, like, seal of Rassilon?
Oh,
It
we're
must have
gonna
been
get into the
something
seal
like
of
that.
Rassilon later, because
Oh, I can't
it's got a
wait.
weird history.
Ooh. Ooh, I cannot wait to learn
I
about that because
can't wait.
I have no knowledge of that. But do you
Um,
think, because it was kind of like a Celtic knot, like all connected
yeah,
looping.
I that would make sense as a thing for it to be. I might explain. So, the seal of Rassilon was originally used in I think it was Revenge of the Cybermen. Um, it was a story that had no Time Lords in it besides the Doctor. In a completely unrelated context. It was just used as a set design element for a different alien species.
Hmm.
Um, and then got incorporated into, I think, Deadly Assassin, um, as like, this is a Time Lord symbol. Which meant that EU writers had to like backfill why those guys also had the Seal of Rassilon.
Naturally.
And there's like a thing about how like they got annexed by the Time Lords at one point. It was silly.
That's
You
so
can
Um,
make
good. I
anything
love
work.
we don't appreciate enough the work that the EU writers do in making everything make sense.
yeah.
Thank you, Terrence. One, thank you.
Um, but yeah, the the other note I had about part five because they interrogate they try to like hypnosis interrogate Zoe, and they're not getting any of the answers that they want out of her because they can't figure out why the fuck she's here. Like if she were telling the truth, it would be batshit. She is telling the truth. Um, that
Yeah, they're like,
like
why are you
she's
lying? And she's
she's like
And
yeah.
she's like, I
the
was
thing that I
born in the
was
21st
noting
century.
yeah, the thing I was noting is like, why don't these war games have? It's really optimistic about. I think like there's like some Cold War like future optimism happening here
Ooh.
about like that there's yeah no war in the 21st century totally
I thought it was
Don't worry
because
about it.
there was a line later that's when the security chief is talking to the war chief and he's like, "We didn't take anyone from past 1917, right?" And the war chief is like, "Yeah, no, because the technology gets so advanced that it's like,
Mm.
like that would
Right.
put them at an advantage and blah 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 blah." Um,
Oh, okay, then
Right.
I'm just stupid.
but no, because I like that read on it as well as like a
Yeah.
practical
There's
thing.
definitely like a production reason of like we're only 25 years out from World War II when we don't want to deal with that.
Real.
And like Vietnam's happening
Yeah,
right now, and it's they're the horrors.
I feel it's
Uh,
definitely more of a sensitivity thing than an optimism thing, I think. It's kind of like
yeah,
how like TV shows don't really talk about the pandemic right now.
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I could if it's like the Minions and Hitler thing.
What?
What?
So the movie Minions. I don't know why I know about this. I haven't seen this movie. Um, but it like is trying to explain like the origin story of the minions in Despicable Me, and what they
Was it
go with is that they're a like species genetically predisposed to serve the most evil person on Earth at any given moment.
Great.
no, no,
Sure,
no,
Yeah, it led to
fine.
some
don't do
problems
this.
when they thought through that one. So
Don't.
Oh
they were
my
trapped in Antarctica
god.
for all of the 20th century. Don't worry about it. No,
Oh good, nothing
Oh
bad could ever
my
happen.
God. That's like, that reminds me of when they had anime Hitler in Full Metal Alchemist.
I do think they were like serving like Napoleon though, if I remember.
What a move.
Imagine the
What a
timeline that
world.
the minions were fighting for Napoleon.
Do you think they were involved in 9/11?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, it could
Episode
have done.
5.
So yeah, all of the soldiers were in an iceberg or something during the 20th century from 1917 to like the far future. So that's why there's nobody from that time period.
Yep.
Yeah, I was my the thought I had leading on from that there's no um, soldiers from the 21st century. I put in my war games I'd recruit some gamers.
So true.
The like real way more simple way to do this is put them in like a
Among
fucking
Us.
like VR game and
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, they're already doing like VR shit. Why not just do it? Like, why do they have
yeah.
to do it with real people? Can't they just like run simulations?
The fact like it's one of the things that I love about like 60s sci-fi and like any older sci-fi. Like there's stuff up until the 90s that I'm really fascinated by, like what technology they can imagine for the future and what just doesn't really come up as like how they think it would work.
Yep.
um
Hmm.
like Deep Space Nine has data pads that like seemingly can only carry like one file each, so like there's just
Yeah,
like
they'll carry a
desks full of
stack of them.
iPads.
It's
Oh,
awesome.
I love that. I think early Academy Gallifrey is like that.
There is a
Yeah.
scene in Leslie, do you remember this in season 5 of Gallifrey? It's the
Uh-huh.
science fair one where Narvin is telling Romana about that guy's um, ethics violations. And Narvin's going, no, there's no evidence. Is there any evidence? And she pours out a stack of like these data pads. No?
It's like, oh, yeah, I
Anyway.
think I'm having trouble remembering that specifically, but that did ring a bell, because it is hilarious
No,
and
I was
very on
thinking about it
brand.
because I was thinking about it because it's like Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah.
I
Anyway.
know Deep Space Nine. I don't know. I haven't listened to Gallifrey yet.
Yet.
You will.
Yahoo! Has anyone
It's
listened to Dark
approaching.
Eyes also?
Hmm?
I have not.
Anyone Dark Eyes?
I'm like, I think I'm on Dark Eyes 3 right now.
Did you did you notice that this is Dark Eyes?
I'm gonna be real with you right now. I don't think I know what Dark Eyes is about, and I don't think I have the whole time I've been listening to it.
I just mean like the first episode. We're talking about World War I. We're talking about no man's land. We're
Oh,
talking about being
civilians don't.
found by soldiers. We're talking about
Found by
we're
a
talking about,
Nerfian.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the phrase hoist on your own petard is in both of these. Anyway, I have a lot of notes about the similarities between this serial and the opening of Dark Eyes.
I mean, the serial is also very. Oh no, I've lost it. Which one is it like? Girl in the Fireplace
Mm,
with the stepping between times.
yeah,
Oh, word. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of. It's almost like there's nothing new under the sun, but like
yeah. It's almost like Doctor Who
things get.
writers are really influenced by Doctor Who.
And
I love
at
it.
some point, it just becomes like coincidence or just the sheer amount of
Yeah,
stuff you can't help but
there's
repeat.
I know some, especially like EDA fans, who love to accuse Stephen Moffat of plagiarizing the EDAs. And I don't know how to tell them that just like sometimes Stephen Moffat's ideas just aren't very good. And sometimes the EDA's ideas aren't very good. And like there's
and
some
sometimes
low-hanging fruit that you arrive at independently.
and sometimes what they're thinking of is just science fiction in general. They're just thinking of science fiction tropes.
Oh yeah. Or
Yeah,
like a lot of them are like individual lines that are just like low-hanging fruit puns.
right.
And it's just like yeah, I
One
don't think
pun
we need to
per.
be like accusing Stephen Moffat of plagiarizing Terrence Dicks. I think that maybe these guys just both have a like tendency towards like really punchy like one-liners that are really easy to arrive at.
Yeah.
No, I think he did. I'm just kidding.
Nobody understands Stephen Moffat like I do.
I genuinely, in my heart, believe that's true.
That's
Thank
how I
you.
feel about Mark Platt.
And like in like a very respectful, like as a compliment. Truly, I
Thank
believe
you.
that.
Who is everybody's
Um,
pet Doctor Who writer?
Rob Shearman.
Mine, Mark Platt.
I mean, I gotta say Stephen Moffat. I was saying off air before we started about how like I am not parasocial about anybody in this world the way I am parasocial about Stephen Moffat.
That's so
Well,
amazing.
we were talking about different guests we could have on, um, or couldn't have on.
Yeah,
I think Gary Russell was mentioned, as he is always mentioned.
We'll get him.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nobody will be able to say anything, but
I
he'll
think
be
me
on.
and I think me and Gary Russell feel the same way about Mark Platt, and that's something we could bond over. I can always trust Gary Russell to throw in a tasteful Platt reference in his Doctor Who writing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Anyway,
War games.
so the war chief is doing some things. They say they talk about how like the war chief is from another people, um, and imply that it's the same species as the doctor. Um,
Also, the doctor has smelling salts several times out during this episode, which I thought
Yeah, he
was
does
very
just keep those on
interesting.
him.
Yeah. I have the mind
Jamie gets in
probe.
another TARDIS. They start to form a plan to like uh do some collective action with the resistance members of the various soldiers that a lot of them are shaking their brainwashing and they're stronger together. Brainwashed soldiers of the world unite.
Yeah, really.
You have nothing to lose but your hypno goggles. Um,
Um, can I have a note. There's a fight scene that takes place, and there's no music behind it at all. So all you hear is punching and grunting for like a solid minute or two. Which
that's
I
beautiful.
thought
I love classic Who.
I do too.
That
I thought
happens a
that was
lot
so
in.
interesting and funny because that is like unheard of, I feel like in
It's New Who is especially when Murray Gold's behind the wheel.
yeah. Yep.
Um, you're just never there's never silence.
Which
I
like
know this because I've
beautiful
tried to
music.
do it's a pain when you're trying to edit fan bits of.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. It's
I
beautiful,
I
but I
fully
also
gave
like,
up trying to isolate. I
yeah,
was trying to do a fan vid with Martha, and like every one of her like good moments has like very loud music under it. It's like, oh, I can't do
yeah.
shit with
Yeah.
this.
I was gonna say, I think it's really interesting the way that they employ background music in Classic Who, because the parts that you would expect to have some like big cinematic thing, there's nothing. And then the parts that like seemingly aren't necessarily super important have like the biggest music parts, and I think that's so interesting.
Yeah.
And I want to know why they do that.
I think this is
Well, it's a lot of the
also
same
this.
tracks that they
Okay.
keep repeating.
Yeah, yeah, that too.
I do think there's like the jaunty like Civil War tune. I was a big fan of that
That
one.
was fun. Ellie, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that's also. I think that's also kind of a function of, or not a function. A characteristic of like older TV. Um,
Yeah.
the the way that music is used is a bit different. Um, and having a silent fight scene wouldn't be like the most uncommon thing. Like, it totally unheard of now. I feel like
Hmm.
um,
Mm.
now you're lucky if you don't get a fight if you get a fight scene that isn't like time synced to the beat of the music.
It's also interesting too, like the differences in the ensembles that
Mm.
are just like normally on like used now versus then, because then it's a lot smaller of an ensemble and there's a lot more like stings and solos, whereas now
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's like full orchestras with like full
Yeah,
string
it is.
sections
They
going all
are.
the time, and it's so
They
like
got the
the
BBC National Orchestra, and by God, are they going to use it?
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I would. Hell yeah. It's just
Yeah,
so interesting because then I want to know like, well, okay, well, who fucking played that oboe solo 50 years ago? Because that ripped. Like, where are they
yeah.
now? Anyway, that I yeah, I love looking at the music for that.
I mean, they also like the. I'm pretty sure for a lot of Classic Who, they would hire composers for individual stories and not have resident composer like New Who has done for the whole time.
Which I feel like is also kind of really fun.
Yeah,
Like it's
there's
got its
definitely
time
like
and its place.
yeah, like a lot of stories will have a very specific like sound identity.
Ooh, ooh, can I talk about that really quick?
Yeah.
In war games, when the Time Lords are mentioned and when the Time Lords are like on their way and you know they're coming, it's organ music all the way, every single time. And that I love because that's what they do in the Gallifrey audios, is that when like a big, you know, you're in the Citadel, in the Panopticon, and there's something crazy political happening because all you hear is organ music. And so when that started, when they started mentioning Time Lords and when the Time Lords, like you knew they were on their way and you started hearing TARDISes and like organ music, that was so exciting to see that continuity. And I love that they did that.
Here's the thing about like going back to the like first appearance of the Time Lords of how like solid the vibes are that haven't
Yeah.
like it there is a continuity not in like the literal details of what they're doing. There is a lot of
Hmm.
that, but like the real continuity is in just like in general this is like there's a clear like idea as to what themes we're getting at with what the Doctor's people are.
Yes.
Um
And it's
of
so
that this is
consistent,
archaic, this is like all seeing, all knowing, all controlling, but they don't want to admit that they control everything.
which is funny that they chose organ for that, because that's usually what you hear in churches.
Yeah. Um that there's such like I have a lot of thoughts on like Time Lords as the BBC and not the British government specifically.
I
Um
like that.
that there's a bit in The Unfolding Text, which is by John Tulloch and Manuel Alvarado. It was like the not only the first like academic text about Doctor Who, but was one of the first like full length academic texts talking about pop culture, especially TV, like treating a pop culture object as like a object of analysis. And there's a section there that I cite a lot about the BBC as a force of cultural imperialism and as like here is like the BBC in its news programming takes it as its own responsibility to be neutral on but in doing that they decide what is neutral.
Ooh, it sounds so
um
familiar.
yeah, and time lords don't interfere, but what they don't interfere in means that they have to decide what is the natural and correct state of things,
Yeah.
so that's weird. um and like that shows up with like the Doctor as the Doctor Who as like the flagship fiction program from the BBC, and like
Mhm.
with like anytime Doctor Who gets political in especially in classic Who, there's like we've got to just show that both sides are like unreasonable and the Doctor is the reasonable one trying to get them to come together.
Mm.
That the Doctor is the BBC, and but also like the Doctor is the problem child of the BBC, just like the Doctor is the problem child of the Time Lords, because he keeps doing things like very overtly that um, the Time Lords don't want to do, at least, or say that they're doing.
Like, I was really surprised that, this theme or whatever came in so early with the Time Lords, like you guys were just talking about. Um, like, war as an experiment is so very, like, to me, that's so Gallifreyan. Like, that's so Time War. Um,
Yeah,
even, decades and decades on.
Which is funny
And,
because it was the other alien race that was setting that up, but then pulled in a Time Lord who was super
well, I
into
think,
it.
I think the War Chief kind of volunteered for it.
Yeah.
But he found them and set it up. Was that what happened?
I don't know.
yeah, that kind of seems like it. It kind of seems like he's like dicking around trying to find mischief to.
Was that not the master?
Yeah, this is
Here's the
the thing
thing.
about here. So we can get into is the War Chief the Master, because this is where it really becomes like relevant, because it is like the Master's deal is finding some other species to ally himself with and then going all surprise Pikachu when it goes wrong.
Yeah.
But I
Surely
mean,
they
he
won't betray me
also,
this time.
but like later on, okay, and I know that this happens later on, and I am the worst for like, um, not getting continuity mixed up, but trying to like retcon stuff in my mind to make it make sense because I think that's
Mm.
fun. But the Rani also does this thing where
This is the
she
note I have.
find, finds a planet and takes it over, right? Like finds a species to rule over, and it
And
becomes
specifically
kind of like the
experimenting.
renegade, and it's specifically experimenting, and it becomes kind of like the renegade Time Lord move. And I'm like, does that mean okay? So like, does that mean that um, this is the master because this is something the master does, or does it mean that all renegade time lords have this one really specific hobby?
I think
Because
I think the real question here is the Rani the master?
that
that'll be a trick if they can pull it off.
I'm just putting it out there like that.
Yeah,
They
that's
would. They
a
would.
need to rewatch Mark of the
They had
Rani
they had Missy and
question.
Sim together, so I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
the War Chief as the Rani, I think, is more
Ooh,
compelling as a direction to take the Rani in
that is
than it
so
would be a
fun.
direction to take the Master in.
I
Agreed.
agree with you. I agree with you.
Anyway, one of
Also,
my
I'm
group
just
chats put forward that the Rani is no, no, not the Rani, that the War Chief is Mrs. Flood. So don't worry about it. We solved it.
Thank you. Oh my God, finally. Answers.
Yeah. So the thing I was gonna say about the thing I put a pin in,
Yes.
the colorization is all in on the War Chief as the Master. They use Sim Master's theme as a
What?
music change for.
Interesting.
Stop! Who was in charge of that? That's fascinating. Why did they choose
Yeah,
that?
they talked about it in Doctor Who Magazine recently. Like they that was a very intentional decision they made. That they were like, they said like they were acting like it was an obvious conclusion that they've been wanting to canonize the whole time, and that they are the team there is hoping that this becomes just like accepted canon going forward. It's like, no, I
Oh,
want
good
to
luck
fight
with
you.
that.
Yeah, nobody's
Nobody
gonna.
can force canon in Doctor Who. People are going to believe what they want to believe, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah,
Nobody can say this one thing is 100% true because there's
they
10
keep
other things that
trying, and
contradict
it
it.
makes everyone angry every
Yeah.
time. It's
Like
that
the
XKCD about like there are now 14 competing standards.
Exactly.
That's part of the fun is that you get to pick what you think is true.
Everyone needs to read Unnatural History.
Everyone
Agree.
needs to read Unnatural History.
I haven't finished it, but I agree.
Um.
I
Oh,
have the
so
hard
I have
copy, but I don't want to break the spine.
my notes for part 9. I have there's the bit of because when the doctor's talking to the war chief about the problems with the brainwashing machines, and like realizes that the war chief doesn't know how to fix it and is being
Yeah.
expected to,
Mhm.
and like the doctor gets this like grin, and I'm like, yes, this is. I put in my notes that this is so Spyfall. Like, there's a thing that a very similar moment in Spyfall Part Two. Um, that's a Doctor Master dynamic that I adore. Of just
Ooh.
like
Oh,
the
definitely.
the Doctor knows more about the Master's plan, or like knows something going on that would fix the Master's problems that the Master doesn't know.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Um,
I want to talk.
that like moment of power exchange is really fun to me every time.
It is. I was gonna say, I want to talk about how the TARDISes that the Master is building have a limited lifespan.
Yeah,
What the hell does
Yeah.
that mean?
Oh, he
Hello?
didn't. Did he? I didn't catch this. Did he build them, or are these ones that he stole and modified?
I think he built them, and I think that's why they're like that.
He did
Right.
modify
Okay.
something though, because the doctor was like, "Oh, well, how did you solve this problem to make these other things work really well?" And then he didn't solve the problem, so they have a limited lifespan. But at this point, do you know that the TARDIS is alive?
I don't
No,
think that's a thing yet at all.
Oh
that's
my God, because when you
that's
look at it through
like
that lens,
something
it
that gets
makes me
slowly hinted at.
crazy.
That's something that
Yeah.
like only fully becomes a thing in New Who.
Oh my God. Well, they have a really limited lifespan, and that
Yeah,
fascinated me.
It
Like,
is
what do you
pretty
mean?
messed up.
Also, in terms of like, Time Lords are symbiotically linked with their TARDISes. Like, what is that like, and how does that affect that whole dynamic? Because I feel like once a TARDIS dies, like you'd feel pretty crummy after your TARDIS dies, you know?
it wouldn't be great.
if
No.
they had if they
Um,
had a link at all. I don't think
right.
every single TARDIS is linked to a pilot that way, which I have things to say about that later, but
I think
way
Narvin
later.
disagrees with you, but I will look forward to that conversation.
That conversation with Narvin,
Yes.
we're getting him on the pod.
No, I just listened to an audio like today where he was talking about how TARDISes are linked, which is why not everybody can have one. Um, anyway,
What were you listening to?
I was
That's
listening
so Deep
to
Space Nine.
Reborn.
That's fucking trill shit.
Oh,
I was listening to Reborn because he's like, "What the fuck? You're selling TARDISes, but they're
They make
linked."
TARDISes
And
into
then,
trill symbiotes.
well, and then
oh,
they say that they found a way around the Rassilon imprimatur so that anyone can use one.
right.
It's
Interesting.
always
So
that
I'm
bitch's
like,
fault.
oh,
Who wrote Reborn? Wait, was
I don't
that?
know. Look it up. I don't know.
Give me one sec.
So,
This is a
he goes to
total
the he,
sidetrack.
yeah, sorry. He goes to the factory and he's like,
Yeah,
"What?
I remember
What the
now,
hell?"
but Gary Russ. No, sorry, Gary Hopkins. Interesting.
We were about to get in a tussle with Gary Russell. Oh.
You're getting into a wrestle tussle?
Yeah, that can be the episode title when he's on. Russell Tussle.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I just thought that was the implications of that. Um, Knowing what we
Yeah,
know
the
now
limited
about TARDIS
lifespan,
is so like I love thinking about it.
definitely.
I love that the War Chief straight up dies in this.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
too.
I really love the War Chief. Like back to the um that classic Master Doctor dynamic thing you were talking about, where the Master messes up and the Doctor has to fix it. I really liked so let's say the War Chief is the Master. Um, I don't buy it, but the I have other opinions, but the way that the way that the playing field is leveled between them as soon as the Time Lords come up is my favorite thing in this entire episode.
Ooh, yeah, say
Um,
more.
Yeah.
like when the Doctor starts calling the Time Lords, when he first like threatens to call the Time Lords, um, or no, what happens first? The War Chief.
The War
Um,
Chief says you have a silver tongue just like your friend the War Chief. Oh wait, no.
what?
The Warlord says that. Sorry. The Warlord says that to the Doctor. It's
Oh no,
crazy.
sorry, no. I was thinking. Sorry, the War Chief like gets the implication that the Doctor is about to call the Time Lords, and he is so scared immediately. He's like, "You can't do that. Like, we're both gonna get
Yes.
got." And from that point on, they're both just as scared as each other, and I really like that. Um, and just the general fear that they have of the Time Lords throughout the whole
It's
rest of this
really
thing is
good.
really, really good, isn't
So
it? Like,
good.
This is like this
especially
is a question that's asked about the Doctor in episode 1 that we don't get answered until now. And they're treating it with the weight that
exactly.
it like deserves.
Well, and like you
Yeah,
only get part of an answer. You don't get the
Yeah,
full picture. You
they
get a fuller picture in the Gallifrey audios like years and years and years and years later, which I won't spoil. But like, yeah, it's wild.
yeah. The fact that like
And
we don't see Gallifrey very often in the show is a good thing.
yeah,
what you get is not on, in the war game specifically. What you get is the Doctor and the aliens and the War Chief to some extent describing the Time Lords and saying what they're like and what they might do. But then you also get just the pure reactions to them from the Doctor and the War Chief. Like the discrepancy that I love is when I love when the Doctor describes the Time Lords as being boring and like ultra civilized and like neutral observers, but he's reacting with this terror that they're gonna do something to him, and so is the War Chief, and even the aliens are saying like, what did they say? Something. Where's my notes? Like if
They're fully
the
like scattering like bugs the second
yeah.
that the Time Lord's actually showing up as a possibility.
yeah, exactly. They say, oh, when the Time Lords get him, he'll wish you had killed him. Like
Yeah.
it's the difference between that description of them as being like these, lordly, um, neutral, civilized sort of, you know, demigods basically, and just
This
the
is also
fear that
what
evokes
the
from them.
UK wishes it was.
Oh yeah,
Well, it's so interesting that the introduction to the Doctor's entire past and where he comes from is through this lens of everybody being terrified to their core,
Mm.
exactly.
which is
It's so
scary.
fascinating.
Well, and also throws light on like, you know, there are there are like whole sections of space and whole races in space where you bring up the Doctor and they scatter like bugs and they're terrified. Like the Doctor can like, wisp away armies by just being like, "Hi, I'm the Doctor." And part of that, yes, is the Doctor being the Doctor, but I think part of it, based on this, is just like the inherent fear that comes with interacting with a Time Lord,
Definitely.
which is so
Yeah.
interesting that they're so scary because,
They mention potent psychic abilities. Like that's like a text of the episode.
yeah,
Hmm.
Um,
they should do more with that.
Did you guys clock this moment where I think it was um, right after they get in back in the Doctor's TARDIS and escape, after they get out of that force field thing, and the TARDIS brings them to the middle of the ocean for some reason,
Yes,
mhm.
and
Orbis.
um, yes, but it brings them to the middle of the ocean, and a shark or something starts trying to get
Yes.
in, and um, they're nervous, they're scared, and the doctor's saying no, no, nothing can get in, nothing can get in, and then the water starts leaking, and he says the Time Lords are breaking down the defensive barriers of the TARDIS, and it's this weird moment of an actual predator is trying to get into the TARDIS, I guess, to kill them or something, but the Time Lords are the ones breaking down the barrier. I thought it was just a really good little metaphor moment that I
Yeah.
really liked.
Their takeover of the TARDIS also is very Dark Eyes.
Is
I'm
it?
beginning to think Dark Eyes is very War
Yes.
Games.
Sorry, it is.
I am beginning to think I don't remember anything that happened in it. I feel, oh, I have to re-listen.
Remember he like tries to go all the way to the future forever, and then the Time Lords forcibly stop him in his
Oh
TARDIS, and they're like,
yeah,
"No,
they
you cannot do
do.
that." And they mess with his TARDIS, so they time scoop him. Basically, they got time scooped in this episode. That's what I
So
wrote down
basically,
when that first
they
started
got time
happening.
scooped.
They got time scooped.
Yeah, they
Um,
did get time scooped.
They did.
It is a little
And
bit
then they landed in
Jetson
the sea
coded.
like Orbis, and then they were at the bottom of the sea like the Sea Devils episode. And then they went to fucking outer space to escape the Time Lords. What was the
this
Genius.
thought
is
behind
such a
that?
funny like
What was
60s
that?
And the
impression
doc.
of
Outer
because
space? Dude, that's
what
where the Time Lords are.
this is such like a like linguistic shift and like the way that space got conceived of in the 60s and it's like so I think
Ooh.
outer space here is referring more to like outside of the universe type shit.
Oh my God. Okay, that makes way more sense because I was like, what? What are you
And
talking?
the doctor's like, we're just gonna wait here. It's like, we're just
Yeah,
gonna wait here a
I
bit.
was like, are you okay? It makes sense that he's like out of the universe. Which also the implications of,
Yeah.
yeah. Also the fact that
Um,
the whole time they were like, he can't steer this thing, and then he steers it or tries to.
this is such a Doctor Who moment.
So good.
Yeah, that's Doctor Who right there.
Everything
Also,
is
Um,
true,
a
and
note
so
I
it would
have
be.
about part 10 is like, wow, 20 whole minutes of like Time Lord trial shenanigans. It would be
yes.
wild if we had like more of that, say 14 episodes of
Yeah.
Also, as soon as they landed on actual Gallifrey, which also was never mentioned by name in the episode, they just
Oh,
called
and
it the
isn't
home
for a
world
long.
or
And
my
it's
own
not for a
yeah,
long
planet.
it
time
takes a
after.
good
That's
bit before it's
wild.
named.
Well, as soon as they land, it's all organ music for like minutes, and I love
So
it.
beautiful.
Yes. Also,
Um,
as soon as the CIA robes walked out, I screamed out loud. And for listeners who don't know, there is a CIA on Gallifrey called the Celestial Intervention Agency, and they're super shady and they do a bunch of illegal stuff, allegedly. And they wear specific robes, which are shown here,
Oh,
and
we're
it's
gonna
very
get into
exciting.
that with.
yeah.
It's very exciting to see them on screen.
We're gonna.
Were those confirmed
Well,
as CIA robes in when the
Yes.
CIA was introduced in Deadly Assassin?
Oh, you know what? I
in
can't.
Deadly Assassin,
I've
I
not seen
don't
that.
remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say,
just know the audios.
I was gonna say we're gonna get into the CIA when we get to the Deadly Assassin for sure because that's some
Yeah,
insanity. But I don't think those robes
yeah.
were in the Deadly
I
Assassin. I don't remember if there were.
because I'm wondering when this connection was made of just like the CIA and these people.
That's a really good. I gotta look into that because the robes specifically, I feel like I haven't seen as CIA robes outside of audio drama
Mm-hmm.
context. um, like covers and stuff.
I mean, I haven't seen these robes outside of this and Colony in Space.
Well, here's the reason that I think
Mm.
that they are CIA, even though it's weird for them to be holding a trial. But maybe it's a secret trial. Also, I noticed that they mentioned that Time Lords holding a trial is a very rare event, and I said,
I love that
"Honey,
line.
honey, you've got a big storm coming."
I,
Um,
I, I was
but
I was texting Allie about that line from like when we first
Literally
started talking about
their
making this
national
podcast.
pastime.
it's
Yeah,
so
holding a
funny.
trial is like the most classic thing for the Time Lords to do.
It is. But maybe it makes sense that the CIA did it if at that time in Gallifrey history it wasn't super common because they would just hold like shady little trials and then, oubliette them, which I have other things to say about what happened
It's a really good
to.
parallel with that the sort of bogus court martial at the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I was gonna
Hmm.
say the other reason I think they're CIA is because that guy, um, psychically attacked the the warlord in such an
Oh,
intense,
definitely.
wild way that I'm like, that's CIA. That's CIA type stuff. So I'm gonna believe it whether or not it's true.
Like these are definite like with the CIA being expanded on later. This is definitely the CIA. It's just
Yes.
Oh,
when
for
that
sure.
like fully got threaded through
Oh, okay,
from the
okay.
CIA being mentioned in Deadly Assassin to saying that this was the CIA that did this thing.
Got it. Got it.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I'm
at the
just
time this
curious about
came
when
out,
that
these were just.
connection got fully woven in.
I
Also,
mean, it has to be the robes, right?
I would think
Like, it
so.
has to be costume based. Because otherwise, I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't immediately have thought this was CIA, I guess.
If I didn't know the
Because it's a
audios, I
trial.
wouldn't think that at all.
Yeah.
But also
Anyway.
okay, did
Oh,
you notice that when the warlord and his associates, got put in the force field and got punished, like they basically oublietted them.
Yes, I
They
have
said
yeah.
written.
it'll be
Was
as if
that an
you never
oublietting?
existed. That was an oublietting. We saw an oublietting for real.
Real cotton
Maybe that's
4K.
maybe
Cotton
that.
Caught
definitely not 4K. That was
caught
not
in like
4K.
200, you know.
Oh, another
But
thing about the colorization that I meant to mention. They do an exterior shot of Gallifrey that is like a new shot of the Citadel, and I found it deeply silly.
Oh no.
did they at least like make it grainy to make it fit in?
No,
Oh
God.
no. Nobody wants to work anymore.
at least it's in the right aspect ratio.
Oh,
Oh, good.
okay. Peace and love.
They try.
Yeah.
I've also noted
Um,
the CIA robes have a slit up the front, like sort of to the waist, and they do wear black pants underneath. If anyone's listening, God or something.
mhm. Yeah.
Just thought that was worth noting. They do have a slit.
Um, a line from one of the Time Lords that I found really juicy was, "We shall not endanger innocent lives." They're
Yeah.
happy
Yes.
with endangering other
This
lives,
Oh my God.
this
and
They,
whole
they decide who's
trial,
innocent.
yep.
I was shocked by how they acted in this whole trial, talking about um, this other alien race's crime here, because the way that um, I guess the doctor and the war chief were putting it, they were like, oh, they won't care about the crime; they only care about the meddling itself. But then they did have a lot to say about, I guess, the cruelty of it. But
Yeah, I think
it didn't really seem to factor in.
the thing that they cared about was that they were using Time Lord technology to do all that.
So
Exactly. But
true. Which is like a CIA type thing that they go after.
Yeah.
Like that's within the jurisdiction, I think, of the CIA.
mhm.
And specifically this tribunal, like the sentence, it's these guys because they are the ones who can give the sentence of, "Hey, you're gonna keep meddling, but you're doing it for us now."
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like that is the real like I think CIA like yeah, that's what's happening here.
Yep.
for sure.
Um I thought like
I
the doctor asking to have the psychic channel to display his thoughts was really
Oh my
funny. Like
God.
pass the thought
Yeah,
ox.
he's like, give me the
that was
thought
good.
channel. I was like, what are you talking
Give
about?
me
I'm
the ox.
fascinated.
Give me the
Also,
ox.
God, if I
when
had the
they were
mind ox, I'd be so annoying.
when they were going through what face to give him next, I love that they had like 2D line drawings
Yeah.
of like
The
Face
you could
also a
sketches.
colorization
generate
thing. You know
you
what they
can
did in the
generate
colorization for that?
what did they do?
They put in future doctors as options.
No!
Of course they did.
Oh my God. Wait, so he said all those things about his future selves?
Yeah.
Who did he say was too fat?
That actually wasn't a thing he said.
Okay. All
They
right.
Cut
might
that out.
either cut that one out or but they of course Tennant was too skinny,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
too
classic.
thin. I think they
Was
put too
was
young with
11
13, which was a bit
Ooh,
weird.
they should have done that
And
with
that was just like
11
this is a
because
gender neutral one.
Matt
Or
Smith
like the
was
reason,
26.
yeah, the well the thing that is that one is gender neutral. I think the
Oh
rest of the
yeah.
statements were not.
Okay.
Um, or I think the real punchline they were leading to was him saying, "Oh, that won't do at all," was for Matt Smith.
Also I have a question about that whole thing. Was that forced regeneration?
Yes.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That whole scene is terrifying
Yeah,
in
that
this later
was
I
context.
I love
wild.
that that is just how the episode ends,
Yeah,
With
with
him
and
the
you have to
screaming,
wait
no, no, no,
a
no.
a
and
full
spinning in a
6 months
circle.
to figure out where the doctor is after that and what he's up to, or who the doctor is after that.
Yeah. Okay, so
Which the
that
colorization also fucks with.
is interesting too because when you think about 13's series, like she's
Mm-hmm.
already been force regenerated once. She knows how awful it is, so it makes sense. I mean,
Yeah,
one would be
they
scared of
mentioned
that
that it's happened to her
anyways.
before, and the like that is like both in reference to the second Doctor and in reference to the fugitive Doctor
Oh my
and the Timeless Child.
God.
Yeah.
Which
Oof.
bringing Timeless Child in here makes this like real fucked.
Oh my God. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh, I gotta think about that.
because that's also who these Time Lords might be.
Oh my God. Do you think the
Yeah,
So
it's
CIA
they're
so
was
very happy
involved?
to put a leash on the Doctor again.
Do you think the CIA is involved with, okay, what was it? Division?
Division is this is my thing about Division, that it is the CIA. Like that's like
Okay, that
it's
makes a
a
lot of
weird
sense.
addition to the canon to say that there's a different super secret
Yeah.
time interventionist agency Time Lords have. It's like I don't know why that was. We have this.
I think
We have
Tectune
CIA
started
at
it.
home.
I think Tectune started the CIA.
Yeah, I think that Division and CIA are basically the same thing. Like I think that in canon, like Division ended
Yeah,
up being an offshoot of what was the same organization,
that
and ended
makes
up like
sense.
growing way larger than the Time Lords and became like a way different thing.
Interesting.
But I'm also like a Tecteun is the other truther, so
What? Say more.
I'm actually not a truther about that. I like saying shit and trying to make it make sense. Um,
Oh, that's great
I think
because
that like
I love getting
slotting
excited about
Tecteun
it.
into Lungbarrow would be interesting. I think that
Hmm.
Lungbarrow and the Timeless Child are pretty much incompatible. I love trying to make them compatible.
Beautiful. Do we have any other things to say about
I have
I
a note
F10 or
that's
the War
just
Child?
Jamie and Zoe sad face.
Oh my God, I didn't know this was their last episode, and
Yeah,
I'm so upset that it ended with a memory wipe. Fuck off. Okay, I get it. It's CIA. That's what they do. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I
I get
really
so
liked that.
mad about the memory wipes. Sorry, go on.
I really liked that the doctor seemed to know that this was a thing that was going to happen to them.
Yeah.
Like
And that
there's a
seems to be the thing
weight.
he was most afraid of.
Yeah,
I also
like there's
like
a
that he got to see what happened to them and he seemed satisfied with it.
yeah. It's interesting that they showed him.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of a kindness because usually he doesn't keep up or know what happens or that we know of to his companions afterwards. So that was kind of nice to get. I feel like that made their departure easier because he wasn't like losing his mind about it at that moment. And he was like
Hmm.
happy for them to continue living their lives and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, but still, like the mind like, oh, yeah.
There was a bit of mercy that they showed to
Yeah.
Jamie and Zoe. Like they let them keep the memory of their first adventure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And there was even that one that the one that approached them at first, the Time Lord that approached them, and he, uh, listened to them when they wanted to say goodbye to the doctor, and he, brought them and let them have their little moment together. I thought that was
Hmm.
kind of interesting.
The Jamie saying that he's not gonna forget the doctor really fucked me up.
Oh,
Yeah.
that reminded me of 12 and Clara.
I
And that
don't
just made
talk
it
to me
more
about 12
upsetting.
Clara. I love them too much. We're gonna get
You
there
know,
eventually.
right. Yeah. Well,
In how many years?
Way down the line.
we will because that's a Gallifrey. Oh my
Yeah,
God, Gallifrey's
those are
in that.
Gallifrey stories.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yay! Wow, yay!
Hellbent, baby.
Mm.
Hell fucking Ben. Yeah. Okay, the last note I have. Oh, I also have me and the boys in the spooky obstacle course because there's that weird like chase sequence when Jamie and Zoe are trying to leave.
Yeah.
Like, what's the like random spooky obstacle course we've got on Gallifrey?
Yeah, they start climbing over like pits of shit,
Pits
like
of fog.
little bits of the fog pits. I was wondering where we put
Yeah,
those.
yeah, the fog pits. We've all seen them.
Oh, sorry, the fog.
Honestly, very
Also,
Gallifreyan.
also dark eyes.
The fog?
I'll take your word
Yes,
for it.
I've got to
the
take your
time,
word for it.
the time wins. My God, the
I
time
know we're
wins.
uncultured.
No, you're fine. You'll get there.
Yeah,
It was just exciting that all
Oh,
of
yeah.
don't
The
that.
talk to
last
me about don't talk to me about time winds until you get to War Room 2. Just
Oh,
saying.
and me, I
the
feel
last
also not so
note
good.
last note I have is, and that's how Doctor Who died. Sad.
Sad. Well, there's about 15 more of them, so.
Yeah.
So far.
Um, the colorization has like a fully like edited like impressive like in terms of visual effects like compositing it together scene of two regenerating into three. I don't like that that exists. I
Yeah.
prefer the cliffhanger, but like that's fine. That's like for who the colorization is for, whatever.
Had they not cast him yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They definitely hadn't. Well, here's what it is. They uh the shift to color and the shift and Spearhead from Space was shot on film. Like that's a equipment shift that they needed to do so much overhauling in their process to do.
Okay.
That
So it
like
like
the
took a
black and white
while.
TV cameras were different cameras
Yeah.
that like they needed to change everything about what they were doing. So it really didn't make sense to bring in Pertwee for that. Even
I
if I don't know if
wonder
they had cast him yet, but
I wonder what things they got away with in black and white that they couldn't get away with in color.
yeah,
Just like how like older, grainier, like shot on film stuff can get away with like less detailed props because you can't tell,
yeah.
and then when you see them in 4K, you're like, "Oh,
Oh, did you
go
I
notice
back.
think
the? I
Go
think
back."
it was. I think it was the security chief. Did you notice his taped eye?
Yeah.
The guy
yeah,
where he had like a scar or something, and his eye was kind of
Yeah.
squinted. They had
Yeah.
a couple close ups so you could see the tape holding that down. I never would. I mean, things you never ever would have noticed on a a lesser television. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool. It's cool to see how they do the effects. I mean, my
Yeah.
final
So
note is just an
that's
overall takeaway. Like, you can really, really see where, like, how this is the beginning of the Time Lords and all the themes and,
yeah, it's all
um,
here.
like, it
Um,
really does all start here.
I would also like to point out that the security chief's way of speaking is exactly like K9. His cadence is the same.
I was so
Yeah.
happy when he finally shut up.
I
I
was
gotta
okay.
say.
I the only way that I coped with how he sounded was recognizing and like converting it into a little canine voice in my head while I was watching
That's so
because the
genius.
cadence is the same.
I think one of my biggest problems with Classic Who, and I love Classic Who, don't get me wrong, but any like older TV, they had a much higher tolerance for annoying sounds, I think, than we do today.
That's real.
Um, or something
Yeah.
like they had blaring alarms and
Oh
funny
yeah.
robot
Oh my
voices and
God.
stuff.
If you
And I was always
watch
like, oh no,
any
they just
Dalek
live like
story,
this.
will have the Dalek boops in the background
Oh
anytime
No.
you're on like a Dalek ship, and
no.
it's like it's effective as a sound identity for the Daleks. I like that, but it sometimes it's mixed in a way that's like I can't keep listening to this.
Yep.
The Daleks themselves are already hard to listen to.
Oh my God, yeah.
They're still hard to listen to. Like, excuse me, Nick
Yeah.
Briggs, but I can't do it.
You do such
Sorry, Nick.
amazing work that we hate everything about the Daleks.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Keep
it's
it
what
up.
like Dalek Big Finish stories are like you gotta they gotta be real good to get through them.
Yep.
The Dalek, I think the like a really good use of the Dalek boops was Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar of having that be in um, specifically Davros's chambers.
Mm-hmm.
You know you're saying Dalek boops. I keep hearing Dalek boobs and thinking about their
Yeah, when are
orbs,
we
and
gonna
it's
do a Curse of Fatal
so
Death episode?
funny.
Yeah, the War Games.
Woohoo!
Such a long episode of Serial.
Yeah,
Such a long
we
serial.
don't get anything longer than that until unless you count like Trial of the Time Lord, which I also Dalek's Master Plan was 12. Um,
Mm.
but, um,
Did they
yeah,
just choose however long they wanted stuff to be? Just whenever?
I don't know how those decisions were made.
Okay,
Um, they were definitely like on the script editor level and like were
gotcha.
involved with like production schedules because those got weird.
Terrence, let us know.
Yeah, Terrence, come back from the grave.
I didn't know he was dead.
I'm like pretty sure he's dead. I'm like
Oh no.
95% sure he's dead.
Hold on, let me
Sorry.
Google if he's actually dead.
Sorry, Terrence. Sorry. Just rest easy. We're good.
Oh, he's for
Um,
sure dead.
I don't need to know that bad.
He died in
Oh,
2019,
definitely dead.
Mm, okay.
Rest
so
in
not
peace.
that long ago, but like
Sorry.
Oh, someone's got to change his picture on the TARDIS wiki. It's not good.
I feel like every TARDIS wiki picture is bad
yeah.
of everyone. Just like Wikipedia. Why do they do that?
It's funny.
True.
Have you guys seen that Chris Fleming sketch that's about like the guy who chooses the image that they pull up on the like
Yes.
car radio preview? I think that he's the TARDIS wiki image guy works for him.
So true. I think K9 does it just to fuck with people.
Yeah.
Galley wiki, like the wiki in the Matrix.
Hmm.
K9 is in charge of.
Yeah.
Hey, quick question. How does Gallifrey function without K9? We can get into this at a later date, but I literally don't
Yeah.
understand how Gallifrey functioned at all before K9.
I mean, not very. You're gonna see, not real good.
Okay,
You're gonna
fair.
see they run into like a tiny problem, and then they have to call the doctor and go like, "Hey, bestie, can you go to this place and do this thing?"
So they just needed
And then the doctor
canine
goes,
the
"Is
whole
it
time.
dealing with my ex again?" And they go, "Yeah, it's dealing with your ex again."
Load
Actually,
bearing
what
10
happens a
dog.
few times is that the doctor just shows back up on Gallifrey and causes a problem and then fixes it, and they're all like, "Yay!"
You gotta keep
Yeah,
you gotta keep them loving you, you know?
Yep.
yeah.
They're not immune to propaganda.
I cannot wait until we get to the invasion of time.
Well, what is our next episode? Is I think a colony in space, which actually doesn't have that much Gallifrey in it, but Gallifrey's in it.
Sorry, are we doing Terror of the
What we
Autons next? No, that's a bonus. Okay, sorry, I got confused.
we are Terror of the Autons is the next thing we will record.
Okay,
That will
awesome.
be a bonus episode on our Patreon.
Woo!
Yes, if you want to hear us talk more about the Doctor and the Master having gay sex, that's behind the Patreon paywall.
Yeah, it's
Um,
all gay sex behind the Patreon paywall.
yeah, it's
That's what.
all gay sex behind the Patreon paywall. Um,
Oh no.
yeah,
Oh, yes.
God, yes, the mind probe.
God, yes, the mind probe.
That's what we'll
Um,
call the Patreon
the mind
subscription.
probe.
God, yes, the Mind Probe.
Yeah. So yeah, we're doing like every episode is like a major appearance of like when Gallifrey is actually there, and a few other things that are like we're counting it, even though it's not that.
Things that
Um,
are strictly relevant. Like, we're not going to
Yes.
skip
yeah,
an episode of Gallifrey audios, you know?
yeah.
No, no.
And we're not going to skip like Brandon Morbius.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're going to
Um,
get to all of it. But
yeah,
main
but like things
episodes
like
are appearances of Gallifrey.
yeah, bonus episodes are like things that are relevant to Gallifrey, but aren't like vital. Like we're doing Terror of the Autons because the Master as a bonus episode, as well as like I think I have after that I've suggested the Time Monster.
Does that have gay
Um,
sex?
oh yeah, the Time
Okay.
Monster is insane. The Time Monster is some of the wildest Three Gato you'll ever get.
Hooray.
Yeah, that one's real fun. Um, and has the Doctor talking about his childhood, which is relevant
Mm.
to Gallifrey.
Oh,
Uh,
is that the Daisy speech?
yeah, that is that.
Yes, I love that one.
Anyway, so yeah, our next episode at whatever our schedule actually is a bonus episode of the Patreon, and then after that, we're gonna do Colony in Space. That is the admin stuff. Um, as
Yahoo.
sign off, you can find me, I guess, on Blue Sky. I guess that's the public appearance that I've got. That Ramon Hadassah dot bluesky.social. Um, my Tumblr is wouldn't you like to know Weather Boy?
Mine too.
Yeah, yeah, good luck getting that one out of me, guys.
God, please, no. My
Yeah,
blue sky is more garlic now.
and my blue sky is Staser Snout.
So cute. Also, we have a podcast, um, Blue Sky as well.
Yes, that is
I thought you were going to say,
Gallifrey ad
by the way,
nauseum.
we have a podcast.
We also have a
Waiting on
podcast.
2 hours into this. Did you know we have a podcast? All right. The sign off noises, I guess.